Hi everybody, welcome to Sam's Doing Stuff. What am I doing today? I'm gonna put up some much better lights in this barn. Yeah, up until today, I'm sure you've seen these things. I've been using these foldable directional lights and they're okay, but they're kind of not that great anymore, if you know what I mean. And they've got a motion sensor in them, which is nice. So I want to keep that, but you know, we can do better. All right, so the first part of our day is I'm going to install these new bay lights. These were sent to me by a company called Lumary, and these are a smart UFO LED high bay light, 200 watts each. That's going to be a lot of light. Specifications are, if you want the model number, and this will all be in the description, L-HB200B1, 32,000 lumens, beam angle of 90 degrees, and the life on these things is about 25,000 hours. 25,000 hours is fantastic because I've got these other lights already set up, and while one of them is still working, the other one is kind of on its last legs. So let's open one up and see what we got. So right on top we've got, looks like something to hang it with, a remote control. That's kind of crazy. Is this the bulb? That looks like, yeah, that's probably the bulb. And that's it on the top. All right, the actual light fixture. So we've got a cable. This is like a safety cable, it looks like. And the light is a little heavier than what I would expect. It's really well built. This is a metal housing, not plastic. So that's probably why it weighs a little bit. User manual there if you need a little help. That's everything that's in the box. Now this thing looks like, that's a lot of diodes. That's gonna put out a bunch of light. The biggest challenge I have with these is the current fixture I have is a screw-in bulb. Well, these plug into a standard outlet. So I'm gonna have to change out the entire fixture. From what I saw in the instructions, we're going to start by putting this hook on. It goes right here in this back hole. So this just screws in. All right, all the way tight. And on the side here, you've just got a little set screw. You're going to tighten that in and make sure that thing doesn't work its way out. And you should be good. This is not a bulb. From what I can tell, this goes right in right here. It's probably like a motion sensor or something. Anyway, you just put it in and give it a little quarter turn until it just kind of clicks into place. In the instructions, they call this thing the module. I don't know what it does, but there it is. It comes with a remote. This is a little frustrating to me. They send you a remote, it takes 2 AAA batteries and they do not supply the batteries. That's a very inexpensive convenience to provide to a customer and to not include batteries to get this thing started. So I gotta go back up to the house and get batteries for the remote. It's a smart device. That's right, you can hook it up with your phone. So next thing I gotta do is I gotta go to my app store and download the Lumary app. So I'm gonna do that next, get familiar with it, and then we'll get back to you. I just decided I'm gonna just go ahead and hang it where it belongs. This is where it's intended to be, so might as well set it up here. I left this other fixture here. It's not wired to anything, but I didn't see any sense in taking it down. We're just gonna put our wire, kind of tuck it up under here somehow. There we go. Plug this in. The power is still off, so there we go. All right, now we got to hook this safety line up to, just in case a windstorm blows this thing off. Okay, should be good. I'm going to turn the power on, and I guess we'll see what happens. Wow, that is bright. That is, you're not gonna be able to tell. I'll show you at nighttime how bright this is, but so now we got it connected via Bluetooth. So this thing is flashing now. I went into the app and just searched for a device and it found it. I don't know if you can see up there. Yeah, you gotta register your app and all that kind of crap. So if you're willing to do that, this is how you use the app. Anyway, I'm gonna click on that. It's adding it right now. So I can change the name of it now. I'm gonna call it Barn 1 Lumary 1. Sounds good to me. So there's an update. I'll get back to you when all this is done. Well, there's a lot of things you can do with the app. You can set timers on it. You can, do all the kind of things you can do with a light. You can dim it, set all the parameters that you want. I'm not sure why the motion isn't working, but I'm gonna get the other one hooked up and we'll continue from there. All right, so here we go, hanging up the second one. Exactly the same. I got a very substantial hook up here, good and strong. We hang it from that. Take our safety wire here, we'll hook our safety wire onto that. Just in case it falls, we don't want to hit anybody on the head. And then I think it's a good idea. I've been wrapping this wire around up here just to get it out of the way, but that's also a little added safety. All right, we're all plugged in. Obviously, I'm going to be using the same app to do this light. I'll pair it up and they should both work. All right, both lights are installed and they're both working. It was a very easy install, even though I had to change out and do outlets instead of screw-in bulb fixtures. If you already have outlets, this is plug and play for sure. All right, we'll be back when it's dark out so we can really show you what they look like. All right, it's nighttime now. It's pretty much past dusk. This camera has a very good low light reading, so the sky looks blue, but it's dark out. So the lights are in, and with the app, I'll show you here, with the app, you can just manually turn each one of them on like that, and you can see how bright they are. That's just one light. If I go to the other light here and turn it on too, there you go. It's pretty darn bright. It's so bright that I would think that if I had 4 of them in that barn all the way up in the peak, I could light the entire barn. Now, I did have some issues with the lights, and the issues were with the settings. So in the settings, you have a choice of turning them on and off like I just did. And you also have a choice, of course, of doing motion sensitivity. Now, I just turned the lights back off, and I want to put up some footage of how I had the lights set up. There's options of having them set so that they won't come on during the daytime. You set the luminance level, the lux, of what sensitivity the lights will read, and then they'll know when that lux rating reaches a certain amount. If it's daytime, then they won't turn on. They'll see the light from the sun and they won't turn on. Well, if you use that setting, and I had it set to dusk, basically, they would come on at dusk. So if it was daylight, if they saw the light of the sun, they would turn themselves off and the motion sensor wouldn't work. Well, this is what happened. And I think the reason this is happening is the lights turn on, they think it's daylight, and then they turn themselves off. So that setting didn't really work for me, because all it does is give you a strobe effect. Every time the light comes on, it thinks it's daylight, so it shuts itself off, and then it shuts itself off and it's dark, and it turns itself back on, and it just keeps repeating that process. So there are settings in here, and I turned the lux setting all the way down to where, I turned it all the way up to where they'll come on during the day, and they'll also come on during the night. So right now, and this over here for some reason turns on right away. The motion sensor is working now, and it turns right on. This one over here must be very sensitive, and then the other one, if I walk over in the barn, it should sense me And there it goes, it just turned on. Now I have them set to stay on for 2 minutes, and then after 2 minutes, if they don't sense any motion, they will turn off. I'll have to check the sensitivity on that one. I don't understand why it's turning on that easily, but they're a very bright light, and of course they're LED, so low power consumption, and I'm certainly happier with the amount of light I'm getting from these than I did from those previous ones. And like I say, if you like them too, I think they're a decent light. I'll leave a link in the description, of course, if you're interested in something like this. They're probably more light than what I need for that space. I could probably spread them out a little bit, but they're certainly going to make backing trailers in there a lot easier. And when I come down at night, everything will light up and I won't be fumbling around in the dark. So if you like the video, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button to watch every Wednesday and Saturday. I'm doing different stuff. This is just a product video, but every Wednesday and Saturday, I'm doing more stuff. We'll see you then.